Today, we're diving into entrepreneur motivation on how to grow your business and how to get financially free. The goal of entrepreneur life is to work less, make more, but that's easier said than done, right? There is one common mistake that I see with small business owners when they are trying to achieve how to get financially free. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell for more small business tips and entrepreneur advice. The most common mistake I see when coaching entrepreneur small business owners is that they continue trading time for money. And this is not how to get financial freedom. Think about how often you hear the words, be your own boss. This is the absolute worst entrepreneur advice you could ever get. Let me know in the comments below, have you ever been sold on the idea to be your own boss? Let's take a look at Robert Kiyosaki cashflow quadrant to understand why this is horrible advice. In the cashflow quadrant book, Robert Kiyosaki defines whether we are trading time for money or whether we are making money without having to trade our time for it. He splits this into 4 different quadrants where we have on one side the employee or the self-employed. Then on the other side of the quadrant, we have a business owner and an investor. So what happens is a lot of times people who are in the employee quadrant, they are used to trading their time for money. They are used to going in and doing all the work, doing all the tasks in order to make money. We are actually taught this as a society, how to be employees, how to follow directions, how to put the time in to get the work done. So when we have the desire to switch to the other side of the quadrant and become business owners, because we know this is the way to financial freedom, we want a business that makes money for us, we actually implement it in the wrong way. So let me know in the comments as we are going through this cash flow quadrant explained, are you more of a self-employed or more of a business owner? This is how you know the difference. Do you have to show up in order to make money? If you have to show up in order to make money, then that means you are actually self-employed. This is why be your own boss is horrible advice. Because what happens if you have a boss? You have to show up at a certain time. You have to get a certain amount of work done in order to earn the income, right? And so when we try to apply this business owner model using the employee mindset that we have been groomed through our entire life on how to do, it shows up as we are the ones that are constantly doing all the work. We are doing all the tasks. We're doing the marketing. We're doing the behind the scenes stuff. We're doing the fulfillment. We're doing every little single piece of the puzzle. This means that you have a job. You just happen to be the owner of that job. So you are in fact your own boss. But think about it in terms of this. If you see a business, a big business, like let's take a bank for example. What is the CEO of the bank doing? Are they the ones that are handling all the cash? Are they at the teller window? Are they opening accounts for people? Are they going through and setting up loans for people? No, they are not doing that. It's the big joke that the one person at that organization who does no work is the person at the very top, the CEO. They aren't doing any of the work. They're out there golfing while other people do the work and make the money for them. They're out there spending time at home while other people are there doing the work for them. They just have to show up, be present, and be able to review information about the performance of the business. And then they help make decisions that are going to improve the performance of the business. Okay, so understand that the way that the cash flow quadrant explained correctly means that if you are a business owner, you own a system. You own a system that is able to function on its own, whether you are there or not. That is the actual goal of financial freedom, is you want to be able to make money without trading your time for it. So ask yourself, could you take a month off from showing up for your business? Could you take a month off and still see profits grow? If you can, then yes, you are doing fantastic. This really should be entrepreneurship 101, that you do not want to start a business with the goal of you are constantly doing all the work. At any moment of time, whether you are thinking about starting a business, whether you've already had a business that's been in operation for a couple of years, whether you are a seasoned business owner, your mind should always be trying to figure out, how can I create a system to do the work for me so that I don't have to show up anymore? That is your goal. Your goal is not to make profits. Your goal is to set up a system so that your business will make profits for you. Do you understand that? That when you understand that concept, that is gold. So try to figure out, how can you start setting up systems? Sometimes that means that you're using a system that works on its own. So this would be something like, for example, my 5-minute bookkeeping method. With this particular method, there is a system that's in place that does the majority of the bookkeeping work for you. So it's a tool that's set up to automate things so that as a little teeny tiny bit of work and time on your part goes into some huge results for your business. But that also means that it's so easy that you could bring in one of your kids and start getting a tax deduction to give money to your kids because they're able to step in and do a process for you. They can take the reins. They can do this job. And then all of a sudden, you don't have to show up at all for it. Except, remember, what does that CEO always do? That CEO always shows up to review the performance of the business and figure out, strategize how to improve the performance, how to improve those profits. So take a look at what systems can you create to automate things, and what things do you need to hire somebody, bring somebody else in to do the work for you. When you make each of these individual decisions, you are little by little turning your self-employed business into a business owner of systems. Now, the other side of this that I recommend in order to help you achieve financial freedom even faster is, remember, what else is on the other side of that cash flow quadrant? You have a business owner, somebody who owns a system, a business system that makes money for them without them having to show up. But there's also the investor side of it. This is key in your entrepreneur development, because when you think about the most successful business owners out there, the most profitable, the most wealthy business owners out there, are they just owning a business system? No, they are also investing their money. And do you want to know why? Because you can own a business system and that business should be able to operate on its own, independent from you and your time. But when you learn how to become a successful investor, all of a sudden your money is making more money. So instead of trading time for money, you are trading money for more money. You're taking your money and you're making sweet little money babies, and it just grows and multiplies like bunnies so that you are able to become more and more wealthy. It's another type of system to put into place. It's a system of making your money work for you. So on the business owner side, you're figuring out how to put a system in place to make your business work for you. Investing is getting a system to make your money work for you. So this is what I recommend to my business clients that I coach, is that you take the profits of your business, and rather than using those profits and either spending more of that money on things business related, or taking those profits and giving it to yourself to be able to use in your personal life, instead, you want to start taking those profits and start using it to invest, to grow your money. Now, what I have found to be the most lucrative and beneficial vehicle of investing is with real estate. So with real estate investing, if you start investing in rental properties specifically, and I have other videos that talk about why rental properties is so important, but just for a brief overview, I want you to understand that there's ups and downs in the market, right? There's times when the stock market is up, there's times when it's down. There's times when things like cryptocurrency is really going huge, and there's times where it's not really that big of a thing anymore. We've seen that with gold over the years. There's so many different types of investments. But I want you to ask yourself, what is one thing that every single person in the world needs to have? That would be a place to live, right? Every single person needs a place to live. Whether they want to own it or whether they want to rent it, that's their choice. But the fact of the matter is, everybody needs a place to live. And so when you have rental properties, that means that you have a surefire product that will always be in demand. Now, there's a right way to do investing. There's a wrong way to do investing. That's not what this video is about. But remember, hit the subscribe button so that when those topics come up, you can get that information. And so when you are investing in real estate, then what happens is, remember, we don't want to trade time for money. So do not manage these properties on your own. That is not your job. That just means you're being an employee again, whether you're employed by another company or whether you're employed by yourself. Don't do it. You want to hire somebody who is a property manager. That property manager does all the work for you. So all you have to do is buy the property and get the money. That's it. It's the easiest way to make money ever. It's so exciting because that's when you really start seeing passive income. You're taking the profits from your business that you're making and you're just putting it into a vehicle that makes more money and more money and more money for you. And so this is why I recommend, number one, you systematize your tasks. Systematize your business. You hire people to bring them in and do the work for you. And three, you start investing your profits. This information should give you the entrepreneurship motivation to stop being your own boss and to start being an actual business owner. Somebody who makes money without their time having to go into it, and somebody who takes their money and grows it into more money. So here's your steps today. Start writing down what can you start systematizing or what can you hire out to someone else. Then, as you're thinking about what can you start systematizing, check out my free webinar on the 5-minute bookkeeping method to determine if that would be a good fit for you. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like it, subscribe, and share with a fellow entrepreneur. And if you want more small business tips, make sure to check out my other videos and my Bookkeeping 101 playlist.